Greetings! So, this week we made a lot of awesome decisions on fleshing out our e-marketplace. Decided how it would look like ideally, and I've started working on it with Bloomix. So, I'm just going to explain a little bit. So, basically, at the beginning of the week, we had a meeting with Eden, in which we were able to talk to them about using their API. Basically, they are going to need to look into whether or not they can give us full access to the API in such short time. They kind of have it on lockdown, and they're going to see if there's parts of it that they can make available to us, because ideally I would like to have someone use the Eden app and then be able to directly take the information of something that was suggested to them, or maybe the information of what is in their farm, like the number of crops and the yields and the potentially even an estimate or forecast, and be able to input that into the e-marketplace. So that'll all depend on the API, but on whether or not we get Eden's API. But regardless, we would like to have a prototype that shows the different user interfaces that we've envisioned, which at this point are one for the farmers, one for retailers or wholesalers, another for an administrator, which would be most likely an employee of the state, and then the last one, it would be a public one. So the farmers would have free access, and their view through the platform is they get to see information of what retailers are selling and where and what prices, and then they also get to make requests or post it, like basically advertise a need for seed or fertilizers, or a need to sell a certain number of crops at a certain quantity. And then the next one is the retailers and wholesalers who will have a paid subscription to the site, and that'll be either one of two tiers, the first of which would be cheaper and would entail just being able to see an aggregate of farmers' either requests or advertisement to sell, and they will be able to see a map, zoom in to a certain degree, which will help them plan out how much they want to supply to a certain area, potentially figure out their logistics of how to work through some region. And so that's one tier, and then the second tier would be that they would get full access to very localized information, potentially even the farmers' contact information, so they can make direct deals with the farmers. And so that's one way that the app will be able to make money and support itself and support the sale of the Eden sensors, which will need to be subsidized. And then the state and admin dashboard would be for whoever the administrator is in the area to keep track of aggregate water quality information, soil quality, what crops are being grown, etc. And then that can also be used by the state for research and policy purposes. And then lastly, the public dashboard will be, we're still figuring this one out, basically anything that could encourage the public to buy locally sourced food, or to understand what is locally sourced and why that's more valuable. And so that would probably be in the form of a map, or maybe a lookup of local wholesalers or food sellers to understand who their suppliers are. So those are the main decisions we made this week. Cheers.